Hey, this is Chris Marquardt. A bit of a different thing. Here's a video for you, and here's my friend John Miller, who I'm recording this with. And the reason is because there is a contest thingy going on right now, and I'm looking for a bit of support there. And why I'm doing this? Well, John, you are kind of the culprit here. So
yeah, I'm the culprit.
Hello, welcome.
Well, I'll jump in here. So the reason we're doing this video today is because Chris is in the competition that some of you might have heard about. We're trying to get him to Antarctica. And
you're trying to get me into Antarctica, and why you are trying to get me there, we'll see in a minute.
Yeah.
It's not that you want to get rid of me.
Of course not. Yes, I want to get rid of you for 30 days. So
yeah, just by way of introduction, if it's kind of unlikely, but if any one of you has not heard of John before, John is the man who got me into the Himalayas, into Nepal, to Mount Everest Base Camp, to Tibet. So we go way back, pretty much to the beginning of both of our kind of podcasters' careers. And well, now, John, you've come across this opportunity.
Yeah, so an opportunity crossed my inbox saying that is tour company that provides cruises, and by cruises, it's not a luxury cruise, but a cruise to Antarctica.
And I have to say, we're not affiliated. We're not paid by them to do this.
Not at all. Simply
complete kind of a you came up with this and you got to.
So they're giving away this 30-day trip to Antarctica, and you need to have people vote for you. You need to sign up, and you need to have people vote for you. And then the 5 people with the most votes, they are kind of into the final round, where then the tour company chooses amongst the 5 of them to give away this free trip. And so I thought, with Chris's social media following, he probably has a pretty good chance to win this thing, at least to get into the final round. And so as we were kind of talking, you know, he looked it over, and he saw that, yeah, this actually looks like a really good deal here. And so what I figured was, we were kind of chatting through some text messages, and he put out this post saying, you know, help me get to Antarctica. And I thought, well, Chris, you need to really remind them that if you go, you will take them with you.
Now, and that's pretty much right in the focus. But you do have reasons why you want me to go there.
Yeah. So the reason that I'm so excited about this trip is that I myself got an opportunity to go to Antarctica back in 2013. Just coming up on 3 years ago.
And the moment you came back, from the moment you came back, you've been raving about this.
Yeah, it was an amazing trip. And I was down there to film to get footage of a photo workshop, not put on by Chris, obviously. But so I was down there for 2 weeks, and it was a cruise. It was similar. It was, you know, half the amount of time that this prize is for. But I got to skirt along the edge of the Antarctic Peninsula, and I got to see all the penguins, the seals, and most importantly, got to see the icebergs and all of the glacial ice and the glaciers, you know, calving into the water. So it was an incredible experience. And I thought, well, let's not just tell people, okay, you've got to send Chris there. Let's show them why we all need to get behind Chris. And send them there.
You being a video guy, obviously you had your camera with you while you were there. And
yeah.
You,
so I have hours and hours and hours of footage. And so what I've done is I've edited together sort of a highlight reel. I mean, and highlight is just, that's a very loose word. I am just scratching the surface. I guess you could say it's just the tip of the iceberg of my footage. I had to fit that in, Chris. But so I've got 25 minutes of video here. I think it's really worth your time to watch this whole video to see some of the amazing things that, you know, the photography down there, the opportunities are astounding.
Before we go into the video, just in case you just mentioned 25 minutes, if anyone is kind of like, okay, Chris, I want to give you my vote, but I don't want to watch the entire video. Can you put the URL in here, tf.com/contest?
Yeah,
that's
it's
direct way to go there. and you will require a Facebook account. That's how they use. That's what they use to make sure that people don't like double vote. But that's pretty much it. Go there, like click, and if you're interested in why John wants me to go there, I guess we can watch the video.
Yeah. So let's jump right in, and we'll start in the Tierra del Fuego, the tip of South America, in a little town called Ushuaia. So here we go. All right, so this is leaving Ushuaia. This was in February, so this was late summer down there. And you can see it's definitely ends of the earth. It's pretty dramatic looking. And this is a small ship. There are only about 100 passengers.
So it's not one of these big fancy cruise ships.
No. There were some with 2,000-3,000 passengers there, but not us. We were small. And after just a little bit, you're out in open water. And
look at the light.
Yeah, the sunset was very dramatic. And yeah, you're just in open water for several days as you cross the Drake Passage. And again, I was with a bunch of photographers, so everyone was constantly taking photos. And several very prolific.
Well, that would be me, probably, yeah, with digital and analog and film and everything.
About 4:15 on our first full day of sailing. The sun's just come out. We're in the Drake Passage right now, so I thought I'd take you outside.
Yeah, so it was just gorgeous. This was the fourth deck. You could walk all the way around the ship. So I want to take you guys along with me.
Lifesaver. Important, I guess.
Didn't need it on this trip.
Maybe I can up to the bow, which is always pretty, but the starboard side's where all the action is. It's sunny out there.
How much does it sway?
It sways quite a bit, actually.
Here we go. It's beautiful over here.
And you'll see, the waves are larger than they look. I think we were getting like 30 foot, 10 meter seas for a bunch of it. It's hard to walk. Everyone looks slightly drunk. I'm not drunk.
I love the color of the water.
Just hard to walk.
I didn't realize it was going to be this blue. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, the color of the water was really special. It was very deep blue. Really nice.
Looks clean.
Yeah. So, you just talk about clean. It's a pristine environment down in Antarctica, and it's all protected. So it's a refuge, and so the true operators are mandated to make sure that you don't bring any seeds from your country of origin down there. They could take over. So they vacuum everything out, and they're very, very thorough about it.
Very exciting. The boat has stopped. We just finished dinner, and the boat stopped. We heard all this really loud rumbling, and so now we're obviously not moving. The water isn't passing by us. You can see that things are staying completely still. You can see icebergs or land. It's definitely something on the horizon, but not sure if we're actually at the peninsula yet or not. So let's see. Let's see what we've got going on. Really hard to tell.
So after being in all this open ocean, it's very exciting to see your first icebergs, and I do believe there is some land there. I can't be 100% sure that's land or if that's just more ice, but yeah. So we eventually got to the peninsula, and once you get to the peninsula, you start your routine of going out in the mornings and then in the afternoons for excursions. You leave the boat, you load into these Zodiacs, but this morning was so foggy. Look at that fog, and so we couldn't see the land, we couldn't see anything. So we were kind of expecting that it was going to be sort of not a whole lot to see. We were going to be heading to a little island and to see our first penguins. And so here, you load into these Zodiacs. Here, this will give you a sense of the size of the ship we were on. It was not a monster. And you load out here, and we started here with just our first safety talk.
Oh, so yeah, of course, you don't want to go overboard.
Should, in the event that one of you guests fall overboard, and in 12 years of driving small boats at sea full time, it's never happened to me. But I've seen it happen once, and I can't believe it's like pure sunshine.
All right.
So we're continuing to motor through the fog.
How cold is it?
You know, it was not terribly cold. It was about 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit.
The wind, of course, kind of makes it.
Oh, you know, the wind always sounds worse because of the camera mic that I had here. I did record with an audio recorder, but I didn't take the time here to sync it. I had to sync it manually, and I didn't have the time. But anyway, we broke out of the fog bank, and this is what it looked like.
It's kind of impossible to see the scale unless you have something
This is
in front of it. Oh, wow, that's big.
and behind me is Trinity Island. The continent's actually over this way, but we won't get there this morning. So I am surrounded by whale bones. You see them up here. And penguins. So I'm going to do my best to film some penguins this morning. An awesome opportunity.
It was an awesome opportunity. And one of the really interesting things about being in Antarctica is that it's been protected from hunting since the 1950s. And so many generations of these animals have come and gone, not perceiving human beings as a threat, as a predator. So they just do not care about you. and so you can get right up to them. You're not allowed to get within 5 meters of them.
All right.
So I had
I understand.
I had a 200 millimeter lens here, but so then there's seals, and you're just surrounded by all these penguins. And one thing though they don't tell you about in all the National Geographic, movies and everything about penguins.
Let me guess.
Penguins
smell
so bad. It smells like a chicken house.
Oh,
I mean, it's just there's poop everywhere. You'll see a lot more poop. But you can smell the penguins long
there's no
before
one
you
to
can
clean
see
up
them.
after them.
And they're eating all the krill and everything, so it's quite potent. But you get sort of used to it. But anyway, you're just surrounded. Everywhere you look is glacier. Everywhere you look is glacier, and mountains, and tall mountains. You can see that fog again.
Yeah, but look at the landscape there. I mean, that's my landscape. That's the place I want to be.
Yeah. So, and then, penguins.
And lots of different ones.
Yeah, we saw 3 different species of penguins.
They're kind of cute.
Yeah. And again, it's really incredible opportunity for wildlife photography, because they're not concerned about you in the least bit.
Like they're hops.
That guy right there is cooling himself off. They use their fins as radiators. So anyway, we get back on the boat, and it's time to see some more of the environment. And the environment is ice. It's ice and water. Ice, water, and rock. There's no trees down there, of course. So you can see the boat in the distance there. So we got quite a distance away from the boat, and we're able to really explore all of the different ice formations and everything. But look at the contrast there.
Oh, look at that.
So one of the things that I know you've noticed in Iceland, Chris, is the ice is blue. It's not white.
Yes.
It's blue, and I believe this guide here, his name's Dave. He gives us a little talk about why it's blue. Right here.
Looks like a penguin.
This, you guys, is a really good example of why you're seeing blue in the ice. So all of the other junk that we get in here has all these air bubbles in it, that are snapping off, and you can hear them popping. So that's all the air in there is reflecting the light and making it really, really white, right? But so that's all air bubbles in there. But this piece of ice, you can see, has no air bubbles in it at all. It's just been compacted over centuries and centuries in the glacier, that it's pushed all the air out. So it gets really, really dense, and the light goes into it, and the blue and the purple light are the only wavelengths that are emitted from something this dense. And that's why we see it as blue, but it's actually clear, as you can see. That's studied with Jay, we studied with
there you go.
Wow.
So because we were we were on a photography workshop, it was really important for our group to really shoot the icebergs, and so you'll see a lot of amazing iceberg footage here. But look at that! I mean, just look at that.
And then, of course, you could ask the guy who the boat guy to go back and forth and move to different places. Yeah,
and and we were constantly moving all the way around these bergs to get the best light, and this was a bluebird day. This was just a stunning day. This is probably afternoon at this point, but you'll see in a little bit that we didn't always have the stunning weather, but it's obviously it's. Here comes this nice starburst here. Nice. But it's the more tumultuous weather that makes for the more interesting photographs.
Well, with this, I'm getting
Adrian
plenty of
is,
sky. I'm getting the reflection here. I'm basically getting from right off the side of the boat to above the sun at 60 millimeter. I'm also looking for those shapes in front. See those big chunks of ice?
See you at all, sorry, but I'm on the back side of a very large...
Or maybe the mountains in the back.
No, I know. No, I have a problem.
And the sunset.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, and yeah, the sunsets down there are fairly dramatic, as you'll see.
Well, this already looking good. Or are you telling me it gets better?
It gets better. But yeah, the tour operator gives everyone these yellow jackets. That's why we're all looking like we're in uniform.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of included.
It was on this trip, yeah. Nice waterproof wear. But yeah, so you're just surrounded by all this wildlife. So here are these birds that were hanging out with us. I think these are Arctic terns or terns, I forget right now. Quick trip to Wikipedia would solve that, but I haven't done that. So yeah, then again, you're just you're moving from point to point because it's a cruise. So you wake up.
Just love the layers and the shapes, and oh look, now that you fixed the exposure.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a sky.
Yeah, so it was pretty special, and this was the first day. This was all just the first day.
That's amazing.
That gives you an idea of what you can experience in just one single day. So it's pretty special. So we'll fade to black here, and then we'll wake up in a different location, and I'll just give you some highlights of the rest of the 2 weeks. So as I said, it's pristine environment, so you also have to go through this kind of virus side here to make sure you're not bringing any nasties onto the continent that could endanger the animals. And you get in your Zodiac at the stern of the ship, and then you head out for who knows what amazing beauty you're going to see that day.
Pretty calm waters.
Yeah, it was nice. Some of it was almost like going on floating on a mirror. But
that's for photography.
Yeah, it was all kinds of different terrain and everything. So there's a nice little scale shot there.
Whoa. Okay, now I do have the scale.
Yeah. So look at the different forms you get. I mean, every iceberg is different.
Look at that cloud behind them. Mm-hmm. It's just sitting there.
But all these different ridges in this iceberg, I mean, this iceberg must have been in a completely different orientation. It's shifted about 90 degrees.
And it probably slid down somewhere, and this way got the ridges.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The ridges are probably all different water levels.
For that,
so
yes.
It's shifted. This iceberg has been on quite a journey here.
See if we went back up to the point there. Yeah.
But I mean, even just the reflections in the water. I mean, look at the opportunities you have here for photography. It's just astonishing.
Yeah, I'm coming around to you. I know why you want me there.
So we're cruising here. In the distance, you can see some penguins jumping out of the water. That's called porpoising, I believe. And they're just they're just swimming around. And when we came across this one was really wild too. You can see this one had shifted quite a bit as well. And remember, the majority of the iceberg's underwater. So these are massive structures, and they can shift very quickly. You can only get so close to them, And if you do get
speaking of shifting, I know where I want to use my tilt shift lens.
yeah, you want to use your tilt
Exactly
shift
there.
all over the place here.
Holy cow!
So you can
look
see
at
on
the
this,
layering.
yeah, lost so much layering, and you can see the weather on this day was different, and
Doesn't
so
matter.
we were starting to get the darker skies, which became very exciting, because you really, you have so much opportunities to get all these different, yeah, like you said, all the different layers. This is at Port Lockroy here, and this was a excursion we had to get some more penguins. And again, they just don't care.
Fed up with penguins after a while?
I don't think you can ever get fed up with penguins. They're so much fun to watch. Watch this guy shake his butt.
You got a little something on your back there, pal.
There's a joke there, but... Oh.
I don't think it's a joke. I think it's just the truth. Dude, you got poo on your back.
Yeah, they tend to poop on each other quite a bit.
Oh, and the blue.
I just have to say, also the people you meet on these trips are pretty incredible. That gentleman I was talking with, that was my roommate, and David, and he's a doctor from Canada, and he'd actually volunteered in Nepal, and he'd gone to Mount Everest, so we had quite a bit to talk about. Here's Seth, one of the other leaders of our group.
There's light glimmering off this left side. There's a big blue hole right about 3/4 of the way up. Sky is split pitch black and then lighter. Just a great form. This is an iceberg's iceberg.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was more like a castle than an iceberg. Look at that sky.
I can see so many amazing pictures.
And I was seeing here, I'm not looking at the iceberg right here, I'm looking at the water splashing up on the iceberg. Because you get these lagoons.
For video, it's kind of hard to hold the camera still, though.
Yeah, I was doing my best. Yeah,
That's why I like
no
still
tripod needed in the boat.
Still photographies from the boat. Oh, and it's obviously bright enough too, so...
Can we get our group shot taken of us on the iceberg?
Oh, wow. Might be the last thing we ever do, but...
That's a great idea.
I want to be so that the
look at the shape.
So we've come around, about 45 degrees on this iceberg, I think. Maybe 180 degrees, and you just see so much different. This is a separate iceberg, obviously, but if you listen carefully, you can hear it popping. That's all the air being released from the ice. And this was all within 15 minutes here. All of a sudden we see these humpback whales. And what we're going for is we're looking for the tails. Here it goes.
Here we go. Here it is.
Oh. Do they just do that, or is it something they do for?
They're feeding there. Well, I thought the funniest thing there is you hear all the shutter releases.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Just listen to the shutters.
That's photographers.
It was cracking me up. It was just like machine gun fire. But yeah, so we hung out with this group of humpback whales. So when they arch their backs, and then you can tell you spend so much time down there, you get familiar with when they're gonna go down for a feeding, and that's when you see the tail come out of the water. And so what we were trying to do was get them to go down for the dive and get their tail, so we could get it, the water in the foreground, the tail, and then the iceberg in the sky.
Do they care about? Do the whales care about the zodiacs?
Not at all. Not at all.
Or is it dangerous to be around them? I mean,
no. Technically it's dangerous, but it's dangerous to cross the street. So it's all relative. But no, these guys were great, and they really treated us to quite a viewing here.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
And it's actually much closer than it looks. They're probably only 40 feet away. And there's some more penguins.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that surprised me when it surfaced there. This was probably only 20 feet off
the underwater.
Oh wow.
Off the boat here.
That was one, so the other one is somewhere. Oh, it's underneath us here.
Oh, he's right there. He's right underneath us.
Yeah, so the whale is pretty much had swum underneath us there.
Do you see the white?
It's coming up for
right
surfacing.
here.
With the head, with the head, with the head. He's gonna check us out. Oh, he's not heading. Oh, come on.
So that was a special afternoon. That was real special.
Any interaction with the whales of any kind, or you just watched?
I mean,
them?
they were checking us out, and they're more interested than, you know. They're not afraid of you, and they're not, you know, you are not a threat, and so they're just more interested. So you get all these opportunities, and you know the photography opportunities are just amazing here. So, and the other neat thing about Antarctica is that there's no indigenous peoples. So no one owns Antarctica. You know, technically no one owns it. Some countries lay claim to it and everything, but no one owns it. And you get that sense while you're down there. And it's a really unique thing. You know, when we go to Everest, my favorite thing is the local people, but there are no local people down here. There's just the wildlife. This is a leopard seal, and leopard seals look like snakes almost. I mean, look at that face. It looks reptilian.
It looks like bored.
It does not look. It's just, I think this was a female. She was just staying warm out there. She's actually holding her flippers up very daintily. But again, here I was probably shooting with a 200, the 70 to 200 Canon. Yeah, so you get right up to them. But you have this sense of you know, this is your land too, and it's really special. It's unlike any other place I've ever been, and we're just seeing such a small part. But there is, you know, there is some places that people have had habitations, and so this is called Whalers Bay, and so this is a place we went near the end of the trip here. So I thought I'd put this in because the textures and the layers, again, really amazing for composition. So this was an old whale processing facility, I believe. So they had some, you know, structures here and some lodging, and then you'll also see the tanks where they rendered all the fat.
So that was given up in
oil
the
and everything.
You say?
This one probably dates even earlier. But you know, completely abandoned, obviously. And but remember, everything was brought in here by boat. There's no wood, and this day, I don't recall it raining. I think it was just warm enough that snow and ice was melting. That's where all the water was coming from.
What? This is another That's almost like urban exploration, but it's not urban, you know.
It's really out there. I mean, this is
Can you
probably
imagine living there.
I mean, what a beautiful yet stark and barren existence it would be down there, and certainly not everyone made it out. So what I'm going over here, and also the sand and everything is jet black. That was really interesting. It's all volcanic. Yeah, so these are the old storage containers for, I believe they were for whale oil. Just left there to rot.
Oh. That is wild.
And it was really amazing to walk around, and just, you know, you can go anywhere you want, and really the only rules down there are stay, you know, as much as you can stay, you know, 3 or 5 meters away from the wildlife.
This is large format material. I would have had.
Can you imagine? Oh,
I would have the 4x5 out.
Goodness.
In no time. Set up a tripod, get the cloth out, get some beautiful, maybe even black and white film in there. Look at the landscape.
Yeah, and so like I said, not everyone made it out. So this is a grave, and I believe, let's see if we get another close up here. This is, but I believe it's from the person was born in 1871 and died in 1928. So yeah, this one was old. And anyway, so I just wanted to kind of put a hodgepodge of material in here just to kind of get people excited about, you know, just what could be seen down there, and for Chris to, you know, virtually take everyone with him if he gets on this trip. I think there's a real possibility he could win this thing, and I wanted to get the Tips from the Top Floor community excited about the potentials, because he will be able to podcast the whole thing, right, Chris?
Well, you get me excited. There will certainly be enough time there on the ship. This is again, you said it's a 30-day thing, so there will be the time at sea, lots of time to produce stuff. So while I would probably not have any internet out there while out there, I'm pretty much gone for a month. I'm pretty sure I could bring back a whole lot of material, a whole lot of photography, videography, podcasts.
Probably ready to drop as soon as you get off the boat.
Interviews with penguins. No, you get me all excited. I hadn't seen much of that video before. You just showed me that, and this is beautiful. So I'm just pulling up the itinerary map here. Starts in New Zealand, goes through Scott Island, Cape Adair, the Ross Sea, along the.
And that's all unknown terrain for me. Yeah, I was only along the.
You were on the other side, right?
Yeah, I was on the peninsula.
And then ends up in Argentina.
So that's where we began and ended my trip, and you'll
pretty much going from that side of the world to the other side, but on the lower side.
You'll be traveling from New Zealand to Argentina and Ushuaia, the little southernmost city in the world.
Yes. So yeah, if anyone can spare a vote. Oh, by the way, of course, this is open for everyone, so everyone has
anyone else can
chance to go there. There is a place where you can see the rules and pretty much enter your own entry. If you want to let me know if you have. So I'm actually planning when I'm back from Ethiopia. I'll be gone through the month of January. So at the end of January when I'm back. If you have a page up there, I will put a page up on tipsfromthetopfloor.com where I put all other people's links who have signed up and who gave me the information, so people can find your entries as well and vote.
Yeah, and the voting lasts until February 29th. This is a leap year.
That's
2016 is a leap year, so February 29th is when it closes, and then I think they make their final decision in March.
Right, and the cruise will be in 2017. So
2017, and so a year from now. Yeah, summer, the austral summer.
So, John, thank you so much for kind of almost kind of pushing me this way. You did a good job, and I think I really want to go. So, a little vote would be really appreciated.
Yeah, so let's send Chris there, and let's see what he can come up with. So, yeah, thanks for your time, Chris.
Well, thank you, John. Thanks so much.
No problem.